Hi and welcome to Distilling in Australia. My name is Nick and today I want to talk about water management and waste management and the importance of water, which is something that I probably seriously underestimated when I started looking into this. I should have put a fair bit more thought into water at the very beginning. So that's the topic for today, but in terms of my license, liquor license application by the Queensland Liquor Commission, not much more to report on that at this stage. In fact, this is all I've heard. So yes, I did put an email through last week to get an update, but I haven't heard any more. So anyway, as always, here is 5 seconds of your life you'll never get back. All right, so for those of you who are new to the channel, this is a channel of my journey from going to a novice person with no idea of distilling or how it all works, through to process of getting my licensed distillery. Now this is a licensed distillery, that's the name of the distillery, and we are licensed here by the ATO, and just to bring you up to speed, I have a series of videos. If you go back, and it'll take you right through the process of getting the approvals and everything that I've done so far with setting this up. So the last hurdle I am at the moment is liquor license, as those of you who've been watching already know. So yeah, I'm no guru. I don't make myself out to be any sort of guru. I'm just a normal bloke just going through the process. So anyway, that's the liquor license. Put that aside. All right, so today, water. Okay, if you're new to this and you're sort of thinking, oh, I want to set up a distillery. Okay, here's some tips. All right, first thing is you need access to good, clean water. Now, you would think that's pretty obvious, but as I found out, I live on the Gold Coast, as you know, and our water supply is actually pretty good. But once my liquor license is approved, I'm going to be investing in a commercial grade water purifier, because I want to get rid of the chlorine out of the water and a few of the other bits and pieces that are in our water supply here. So yeah, there are elements in your water supply that even if you're on really good quality water, which we are, and we have world-class water here, you need to have in place some sort of filtration system to remove those impurities, because that will help you in the fermentation process, and also when you go to dilute your product out of your still, you need to add water to it to bring it down to the 40% or 42 or 37%, whatever it is that you want to bring it down to, and those flavors can carry through. So water filtration. The second thing is cleaning. There is a lot of cleaning. So you need to sort of work out, okay, if I set my distillery up here, there's going to be water spillage when you clean, which there is, you can't help it. How are you going to control that? How are you going to turn the water on and off? Are you going to operate by yourself? So you need to have some sort of system where you can shut valves on and off, especially if you're using pumps, because the pumps, especially by yourself, when you disconnect the pumps after they've been used, you get backwash out of the pumps and backwash out of the lines that you've been using. So, water for cleaning and sterilisation is a big thing, and you got to work out how you're going to manage it, how you're going to dispose of it. As you see behind me, I've got these 44-gallon drums. And what I do is, because I'm not allowed to dump my waste into the sewage system, because I'm looking at, I'm in a domestic situation, not a commercial situation. I don't have grease traps or any of those sorts of things installed. I then had to think about, okay, I've got to store my waste in these large 44-gallon drums or 205-litre drums. And now the next step was, how do I get rid of that? So yeah, depending on your region and who's available, you've got to organise a commercial contractor to come and take it away. Now, those volumes, even though there's nearly 1,000 litres of waste there, or potential waste, that to a commercial waste disposal is actually a very small amount. So you could have difficulties, I'm not saying you will, but you could have difficulties finding a commercial contractor to come and take that away for you. So again, you've got to pay for that, you've got to work that out. And you're still, okay, so when you've done your run, and especially if you're going to be trying to do, 2 or 3 runs a week, those stills, they stay hot for a few days. So, the water or the faints in the still, they stay hot for a few days. So, especially that's a 130 litre still I have. So you say, okay, well, how am I going to dispose of that? So you've got to have hoses and pipes that will take 100 degrees Celsius, and that's by no mean feat an easy thing to do, and nor are they cheap. So again, if you want to be able to drain your still pretty well straight away, you've got to have a pump that can handle the heat. So you've got to make sure that your pump is rated for, operate at 100 degrees Celsius. For argument's sake, you have to have hoses that are rated 100 degrees Celsius, and then you have to have somewhere where you can pump it into, like metal 44-gallon drums or whatever it is, but you need to be able to have some sort of mechanism where you're not going to damage the container by putting in 100 degrees Celsius waste products or faints. So you have those sorts of issues as well, especially if you start dealing in, if you're doing fermentation, which I will be doing. Water, yes, you've got to have clean water to put into the fermenter. You've got to be able to manage that waste, and as many of you who have done mashes will know that, do you distill on grain or off grain? Now, if you're going to distill off grain, you've got to be able to drain it, and that's a heavy, messy process to drain the mash away from your grain, so you get just a pure product to put it in your still, so you don't risk scorching, for argument's sake, on heating elements. So there are so many different areas that we're using water and have to do transfer water and recycle water in hopefully a lot of cases if you can, that you really need to have a great plan of how you're going to do it. And I would actually start at that. If I was doing this again, I would actually probably start at that point and say, okay, cleaning, how am I going to clean all this stuff? How am I going to dispose of the water that comes from as well for cleaning? You need to think of that. That's one thing. Then you have to say, okay, fermentation. Am I fermenting? Okay, I'm going to need filtered water for my fermentation. So again, you need to think about filtration and the cost of getting filters and getting your water tested, or getting onto your local shire or council and finding out the quality of their water. You can do that by going onto their websites. And then dilution. So, with the finished product, how do I dilute it? Again, you need to have that filtered water. And how do you manage that? So how do you got to have food quality hoses that you can use to transfer the water, or stainless steel or whatever. So as a temporary setup, everything I do is with stainless steel, not stainless steel, with food quality hoses, because this is, to all intents and purposes, a temporary setup until such time as I can get to a high enough turnover where I can move into proper commercial premises. So then, and of course, lastly, the cleaning up or the draining of the still. Have you got the right hoses will take that temperature? Have you got the right pump that can pump that temperature? Have I got the right vessels that I can put it into so it has a chance to cool down? And then cleaning it out. So at the end of the still run, you still got to clean it out. You've got to be able to hose it in there, pump out the waste, and clean out your still as you do it. So water is something that, and waste management is something that I severely underestimated. And I'm getting on top of it now. I've got a plan. Obviously, nothing's happening here at the moment until my liquor license comes through, because quite frankly, I've got all this product, but there's no point making any more if I can't sell it. So, I'm still waiting on that to come through. Anyway, that's all I wanted to go through today on this subject. I hadn't posted for a couple of weeks, and nothing was happening with the liquor license. So I thought, well, I'll talk about something. So something that I did wrong, and hopefully you'll learn from my mistakes and don't make the same areas. But yeah, planning on water, that's a big one. So I hope that's useful information to you and helps you. Obviously, you need So one thing I did forget about is water for your reticulation system. Now I am lucky enough that I have a large pool that I can use for my water reticulation for the condenser and the deflegnator. So you know, that's a great benefit to myself. But you know, you have to have a large volume of water to run any sort of size still to keep that condenser cool and to keep the deflegnator topped up with the right amount of cool water, so you get that good reflux happening in your reflux column if that's what you're using. So yeah, so they're all the sort of things that that I didn't really think through properly, but I have now. So you know, they're yeah, it's been resolved, but just some few pointers. All right. Anyway, that's it. Episode 36 will be probably the next one when I hear back from the Liquor License Commission. I don't know if it's going to be in a week's time or 4 weeks' time. I don't know. I have no idea. There's other than the letter I told you about in 33 and 34. You know, I just don't have any more information at this stage. But anyway, we'll wait and see, and hopefully they're nice to me. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching as usual, and have a great week. Stay safe. Ciao. Distilling alcohol is illegal in Australia unless you hold the appropriate licenses and permits. I am not a lawyer, and the contents of this video are not intended to be legal advice. Do not rely on any information contained in this video, and seek your own legal professional advice before making any decisions. Be aware, the Australian Tax Office and the local law enforcement agencies will be taking interest in this channel due to its content. Please keep this in mind before posting any comments. Any comments posted are the opinion of the person posting and not of this channel. Let's get started.